Results of our FFA Beef Showmanship class. Receiving blues were Hallie Meyer and Peyton Henry, both of Ansley. Receiving purple ribbons were Jay Shada of Broken Bow, Kagan Wattoon of Callaway, and Macy Smith of Sargent. Your reserve champion was Haley Rosiski, and your champion beef showmanship in the FFA division was Mesa Jones. We're going to be rolling into our market beef division next, starting off with our market steers. If we could have our first class of market steers report to the arena at this time.
white steer here is going to win the class, and he does so pretty easily in my mind. I think he's won when you study him at the ground. He gets out and goes pretty well. He's pretty soft and flexible at the ground. He's the most shapely across the top side of his skeleton. I think obviously both of these two could use some more days on feed to be at a finishing standpoint, but
Results of our first class of market steers. Receiving a purple was Haley Rosiski, and receiving a blue was Casey Evans. Entering into the arena now is our second class of market steers. There will be 3 steers in the class. The class is closed.
Come up here, you're two. Another nice class of market steers here. The young lady in the pink shirt with the black steer is going to win the class. Does so pretty easily in my mind. I think this is a pretty solid steer. He's got some fat cover on him. He's got some muscle shape and dimension. He's pretty stout and square from hooks to pins, and he gets out and moves pretty well. Gives you a nice soft feeding look from the side as well. The young lady's Hereford steer is going to be next. I think he's one that's got just a notch more added length of spine when you compare the two, and when you get your hands on him, he is a little bit more fresh in terms of finish. I think he's got a little bit more over that 12th and 13th rib, so nice Hereford steer there. The young lady's black and white steer that's going to round out the class, I think. Certainly one that's going to hang a nice carcass, just needs a little bit more time on feed to be powered up and stoutened up just a little bit to compete with those 2 steers ahead of him.
Results of our second class of market steers. Receiving blues were Peyton Henry and Kagan Wattoon. And your champion of that second class receiving a purple ribbon was Allie Smith. In the arena now is our third and final class of market steers. The class is closed.
A single entry here for the heavier weight steer, but it's certainly one that's got a good amount of cover on him. Maybe could use just a little bit more over the 12th and 13th, but I think one that's pretty fresh. He's got some depth of body. He's got some shape and expression over the top side of his skeleton as you come out the top side of his shoulder. Maybe one that's not just the most attractive in terms of phenotype in comparison to maybe the steer that won that last class, but a really nice steer here for him.
That third class of market steers, we have Jace Schotter receiving a purple ribbon and winning the class. Now our class winners for our market steer drive.
So we get the class winners back out here. We've also brought out, there's a single entry heifer, so she's your champion market heifer. She's gonna come out here and contend for champion reserve market beef. But young lady steer from that first class, from a design and kind of profile, style, balance, and standpoint, I like this one a lot. I think he gives you a really nice look. He's pretty smooth shouldered. He's got a good top line in him. He comes out high at the top side of his shoulder, pretty long and extended up through his neck. He's one that has some shape and dimension. I would like to see him a little bit further along in terms of a finishing standpoint. He's still got probably 150 pounds more that need to be added on him to be at a true finish, but one that from a style and balance standpoint is awfully good. Young lady steer from the second class, a steer that I think is just pretty fundamentally correct, and he's pretty sound when you set him into motion. He's soft-made, he's deep-sided. He gives you a pretty decent look from the side as well, and when you get your hands on him, this one's ready to go. He's got a good amount of fat cover and finish on him. Just a solid steer there from the second class. Young man single entry steer from that third class, I think one that maybe gets a little bit more plain in his design, doesn't give you quite as much of a show steer type of look and presence that the two steers standing up ahead of him do, but when you study this one at the ground, he is one that gets out and moves, and he is at a good finishing point today. I think he's one that kind of what you see is what you get. He's got some muscle, he's got some depth of body, and he's certainly got some finish coming on, so nice steer there as well. And the young lady's market heifer, I think one that's got some length of spine. She could use just a few more weeks on feed to kind of be at a true finish standpoint, but certainly a sound-made long body type heifer there as well. So with that being said, I think there's a couple that are just right where they need to be. They can get out and move, and I'll go show you the two I like. But let's give these kids a round of applause on a nice beef show.
Results of our market beef show. Your overall reserve grand champion was exhibited by Jay Shada, and your champion by Allie Smith. Again, congratulations to all of our market beef exhibitors. In the arena now, we're starting up with our breeding beef show. We've got a class of 2 entries.
A nice pair of heifers here. I think the young lady in the blue shirt's going to win this class. I think this heifer's just more robust and capacious through that center third of her body. She's just a little bit deeper sided, maybe a little bit more feminine and kind of broody looking about her head and her neck. She's one that gets out and goes pretty well. If I'm going to change her, I'd kind of like to tie her higher, a little bit higher into the point of her shoulder where she ties into her neck, but a pretty nice heifer there to start off this class. Young lady's heifer that's going to be second, I think one that does have some length of body. She is a little bit stouter featured. She's a little bit bigger in terms of her foot and bone. I would just like to see her have just a lot more angle in her shoulder. I think she gets just a tick straight shouldered, maybe doesn't have quite as much curvature to her rib and center body and dimension as the heifer that wins, but a nice pair of heifers here in the first class of the breeding show.
Results of that first class of breeding heifers. Your reserve champion was exhibited by Macy Smith, and your champion in that first class by Mesa Jones. Coming into the arena now, we're going to have our second class of breeding heifers, single entry in this class, then we'll come back for our breeding beef drive.
Just a single entry here for the June heifer class, but one that I think has some decent features about her. She's pretty big-footed. For the rest of her, I think she's one that's relatively feminine. I would just like to give her a lot more maturity and a lot more size. I think we're getting to the point here at 13 months old where you're wanting to be breeding these heifers. They need to have some size. I think just practicality as far as trying to get one bred and really calving one out next year. You just need a little bit more maturity, be a little bit further along there. But young lady's doing a nice job of showing her, so let's give them a round of applause. So with that being said, we'll also pick a breeding heifer show. Obviously, a quick show here, pretty light on numbers, but some really nice heifers out here. We saw some nice steers in the market steer show as well. So obviously they went 1 and 2 there in their class. So the young lady in the blue shirt will be your champion breeding heifer. The young lady in the purple shirt will be your reserve. But congratulations, let's give them a round of applause on a nice pair of heifers.
Results of that final class of breeding heifers, we had Hallie Meyer receiving a red ribbon. In our drive, congratulations to our reserve grand champion, exhibited by Macy Smith, and to our grand champion, Mesa Jones. Thanks everybody for coming out for our FFA Beef Show today. Congratulations to all of our exhibitors, and have a great rest of your day.